So working with my original rough. Okay, this is the one that we made the copy of so that we can do our transfer. All right, so working with our original rough, what we need to do is think about our color scheme. So we have a marker test sheet here. We're going to choose up to 5 marker colors to use for the project, and I could use less than 5. So try different color combinations. When you find one you like, add colored pencil on top to create lights and darks. Those are those gradient transitions that we were talking about. The marker should be dry first, and write down the marker and the color pencil so you remember what color combination you were. So this is red, obviously, but there's other ones like caramel and certain markers, leaf green. All right, so I'm going to try a bunch of markers out. I grabbed a few different ones here, kind of runs the gamut of colors, and I'm just going to put these markers in. I don't have to fill every single one, but I just want to see how they come up. Now, best method for this is using the broad tip and using it like a brush. So I'm going to fill the box with stripes, but they're just going to slightly overlap. Got my cover sheet underneath. All right, notice I didn't color it in and scribble it in. Now I got to let that dry before I do anything with it. I'm going to try some other colors to see what I like and what would work best for my characters, my shapes that are going to have the Zentangle in them, or my backgrounds. All right, so I'm going to take a look at the colors and then write down the names. This one I really like, this light blue. This is periwinkle. So I'm going to write the marker color at top. All right, that's periwinkle. I like that blue color. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, so I've got my 5 colors. Now, first thing I got to do is I want to figure out how these colors can be exaggerated or made more interesting. Just like I use the colored pencil on top, the technique of overshading can give the colors a lot more life and a lot more interest. Just by taking colors that are either similar, lighter, or similar and darker, and adding some depth to them by adding pressure and subtracting. So if I wanted to give this All right, so the purpose of figuring out some of those areas of shade is going to be relative to what we have in our objects, right? So in these instances, it says using colored pencil, try to shade the shape so it's dark on the edges and fades lighter as it goes in. A sharp pencil works best. So I'm trying to create depth and dimension with these objects. And in doing that, I'm going to need to follow along the edge of the form. So if I go dark along the outside, and I'm not going to get too dark too quick because I want the transition to be smooth. So if I go around the outer edge with this color here, it could be any color. And then I come in and just slowly lessen pressure. You'll also notice I'm going to change direction. I'm starting to do small circles. And I'm going to fade that into a highlight in the middle. But I definitely want to keep following the curve of the form. Created a colored pencil gradient. I'm going to try that with other colors on this. Now this one's going to have the area of highlight in the middle and along the ridge. So I've got to be careful. Okay, so now that I've got some good colored pencil techniques figured out in terms of how to create transitions, the other thing I could consider doing too is using light on top of a dark, creating almost an implied highlight. So you got a lot of options here on the test sheet. You don't have to use every single one of these in every part on your design, but you want to start thinking about what colors you might want to put where. So if I start looking at both of these now, and I've got my color scheme figured out, I'm going to just mark up what colors I'm going to put where. So I think the yellow I'm going to use for every other shape. So this, okay, just marking it up so I know which color. So that one's here, then this one's going there. Then I've got this one's going to be that yellow color. And then I want to use maybe that violet for the other ones. So this and this. This is violet. Okay. Now my characters. I think I like the pink. So I'm going to do these big guys. I'm going to do them in the pink and the periwinkle. So this one's going to be here and this one's going to be here. The periwinkle is going to be this one, this one. That leaves the background, this caramel. All right, so now that I got my color scheme, I'm going to begin to plan it out on my final project.